Anyone who has slept with a porn star off camera. What was the experience like? Before we dig into it, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Story 1. Had a friend who dated one for a while. She was gorgeous, a bombshell. She was funny and very easygoing. She had emotional issues that the poor guy had break up with her years later. At his birthday, one of his new colleagues refused to believe our jokes about dating a porn actress. The face when the dude saw some pics priceless so, and she stole tank from him. Story 2. It was not the mind-blowing experience I had assumed it would be. The biggest difference was that she used a couple of positions that were new to me. They weren't amazing, and after a couple times I realized that she was playing to an imaginary camera. All in all, 8/10 would ban again. Story 3. I'm a woman. I had sex with a very prolific male porn star before he became famous. He had a huge dick which was like wow, but he didn't know how to use it at all. Watching his porn now and it still centered the size of him, not his skill, but the actresses. He says the same weirdo yeah. Now that he did. Then turn off now. Story 4. She told me to make love to her because she was tired of just being fricked and I came in like 2 minutes. Not an encounter I'm very proud of. Added holy crap, a silver. Well thank you, at least somebody was eventually satisfied from that. Edit 2 of course, this is my most upvoted comment ever. Love you all. Story 5. Uninspired. The last thing she wanted to do was have sex when she was off work. She was a delightful dinner companion, though she was animated and focused on me, and everybody in the restaurant wondered how schlubby guy like me snagged such a hot date. Story 6. I've known 2 guys who have and they said it was just plain old sex with no heightened performance. One guy had a one-night stand at a bar, the other briefly dated one. Since a number of porn stars also do escort work, I wouldn't be surprised if they did put on a show for their client. Story 7. I dated a girl who seemed like she had a simple life. I later found out she was a stripper and later that she was in a few movies. Sex was great, but I don't think her career had anything to do with it. We had a great energy together that only got stronger the more we learned each other's crazy life stories. She also was bi and would get drunk and bring women home good memories. Story 8. She wasn't a big name in the industry, but she has videos. It was a really good experience. No over-the-top nonsense like you see in the documentaries. It was just like having sex with a normal person, except she was really good at what she does and she truly enjoys it. Story 9. I mean, how many people on Reddit do you expect to have stories about freaking porn stars? Story 10. I once had sex with a porn star, probably about 4 years or so before she got into the industry. That was more than 15 years ago and I still remember all the times we fricked in detail, so I have to say she was already destined for the screen, I guess. Story 11. I had an orgy with Madison Ivy, Nicole Aniston and Kendra Lust. It was great. Then I woke up. Story 12. Ron Jeremy once shook my hand and told me that he appreciated my work. Does that count? Story 13. I'm anticipating my ex becoming a porn star in about a year, so I'll get back to you. Story 14. I didn't have sex with a porn star, but one used one of my Android apps and asked for support. If anything, I'd say he was a little more articulate and tech-savvy than the average person that emailed me. Story 15. I haven't, but I know a guy who did. He said she was a really cool person, and they had a lot in common, but the sex was not at all what someone would imagine. Apparently, she got into the industry pretty quickly after losing her virginity and basically 90% of her sexual experiences were on camera. Because of this, she didn't know how to have a natural sexual experience with a normal person. He said if he didn't tell her what he wanted her to do, she was awkward and clueless. It's sad, TBH. She was so used to being directed that if someone wasn't directing her, she couldn't just go with it and enjoy herself organically. Story 16. The best I've ever had. I swear he knew my body better than I knew it myself. He was my first for several positions for several types on intimacy, and I've never forgotten how intense and satisfying our sex was. Wish I could do it again. Story 17. I shot Zoe Voss a few months after she turned 18 and a few months before she went into porn. She was really horny, and I got the vibe she would be down for just about anything right away. Also, my wife and I have both made up with a different porn star also before they made the career switch. It wasn't at the same time and was way before I met my wife. Seems like they're just normal people that are maybe more attractive, sexual and wild than average. Both of these girls had broken homes and were a little lost in life. Then met the wrong person to connect them to an easy way to make money doing something they like anyway. Story 18. I tell you all about it, but Op's mom made me sign an NDA. Story 19. Throwaway account. So there was a porn star in my town that was doing private meet and greets. I said well, why not? And contacted her about it. When we finally meet up, it was actually at my place and it started out like any other date, some small talk. She could tell I was a little nervous about it, but made sure I was comfortable and made the first move, as it were. From then on, she put on a bit of a show before we got started. From there, I just kind of let the experience take over, and it was the best sex ever. For no other reason, I could explore some kinks and other things with her and be completely open with her sexually and experiment doing things I never would have been comfortable doing in a real relationship.